So now in this class I will teach you how to write a self-checking test bench for PISO. This PISO code I have already explained in the previous class. So now this test bench I will be writing with using the task. It is a easier way to write the test bench and efficient way also. So start module test typo. Then whatever the inputs, all inputs I should be declared as range in my test bench. So range clock, then range reset, and these names you can give same name or you can give different name. This is up to you. Why we are defining this as range? We can declare this as where also. It's up to our choice, raise or where. But if I am declaring it as a raise, then it's easy for me to use these things inside a initial block or always block. If I am declaring them as a where, then it will be difficult for me to generate the random data. Okay, so for easier use, we are declaring it as a raise only. So load, next range. I am checking a 4-bit CPO. Okay, sorry, 4-bit PISO. So range 3 down to 0, data in. Then okay, next my data out. So remember this data out, it must be declared as a where. It cannot be a range according to my port declaration rule of Verilog. Okay, so according to port declaration rule, in your design, your input, all your input and output are by default where. You can make your output range, but you cannot make your input range here. Now coming to your test bench, you can make your input range as well as where, but you cannot make your output as range. Your output must be only a where data type. So where data out, and another is data out reference. This will be the output of the reference logic. Okay. Now I'm going to instantiate the module. So what are the steps to write a test bench? You have to initialize the data, active the reset, then active the reset, then generate the random data, then pass those data to your design as well as reference model and take the output and compare the output. Now pass the data from test bench to design or reference model and take the output from design as well as reference model. This thing is done by your instantiation. So now I will be instantiating two modules. So here I will be doing instantiation by position. So here it is data out. Okay, here it is data out reference. Now you can see, now let its name is duty and its name is reference model. Okay, so now you can see same input I am giving to my design as well as my reference model. Duty means design under test. So clock, reset and same inputs I am giving here. Load, data in, data out, load, data in, data out, reference. Output different I am taking. I'll be comparing these both outputs. Okay. So now step by step I'll be doing. So for each and every I'll be using one task. So first task, initialize. So here I'll be initializing all my tasks. Sorry, all my input values. Clock equal to 0. Reset n equal to 0. Load equal to 0. Data in equal to 0. After this, let's give some delay #2. Then end task. So next I have to active the reset. Now let task name is reset, begin. So how can I active the reset? When my reset is equal to 0. So I will make reset n equal to 0. Then I will wait for some time, has 5 left. Then I will make my reset n equal to 1. Okay. So now here my reset is asynchronous. So whatever the delay I will give, it will not create any issue. Why? Because my reset is not depending on the clock. But if your reset is synchronous, means if it is depending on the age of the clock, so it's better. Let it is depending the pause age of clock. So instead giving this #5 delay, you can write @pause age of clock, then #1 #2 some delay. So by writing this, you are making sure that your reset signal will encounter at least one passage of clock. To make your reset active, it should encounter this passage of clock. Means it will wait for passage of clock, then it will wait for #1 like 1 nanosecond. As here my time scale is 1 nanosecond by 1 nanosecond, then my reset signal will be inactive. So and so now here generate the random data. Okay. So here I have two specifications. What? First, my load signal is equal to 1. At that time, I have to generate the input. Then when my load signal is 0, at that time data shift will happen. Means I don't have to generate any input. So let first write task load. Here I'll be just generating the conditions for loading the data to my register. So let's write make age of clock. Okay, $display. So here data is loaded, or it's a simple data is loading. Okay, then I will make my load signal is equal to 1. So when load signal is 1, I am giving some bin is equal to $random. Okay, so now here why I have written here @nagage of clock. See, your design is working with respect to passage of clock. Now let you are giving the data. In the test means you are generating the data at the rate passage of clock. So both these things are happening at the rate passage of clock in the active region. For the non-blocking, evaluation is done in the active region. Now this is the blocking assignment. It is also happening in active region. So here there is a race round condition between your test bench and your design. As both are working at the same time, we don't know which one is going to execute first. Okay. So to avoid this race round condition, I am here writing @nagage of clock. That means first test bench data will change. At the rest, when there will be a passage of clock, this duty will take the data. Means during the passage of clock, I am making all my inputs constant. Okay, so that my duty can sample the signal properly. This is just to avoid the race round condition between test bench and your design. In our system Verilog, we have programming block, we have clocking block and programming block to do this. Okay, so now data in, so this is completed. And task. Okay, so now task load is completed. Next task shift is also there. Okay, so in the shift only my load signal will be 0. Okay, and task. Okay, so now same thing I can copy paste here. Okay, so this is to shift the data. This is generate the data, or I can say to load the data. So now here I can write task shift, shift @nagage of clock. I am making my load signal is equal to 0. Here I don't need any data in. I can write data is shifting. So now here it should remain for 4 clock age. Why 4 clock age? Because my data size is 4 here. So I need 4 clock pulse to shift my data properly. If it in between 4 clock pulse I am loading some other data, then whatever the data is there, that data will be lost. I need proper time to shift my data properly. So here I'll be giving 4 clock pulse delay. And 4 clock pulse means 4 positive edge of clock. After 4 positive edge of clock, I can again change my input data. If before it I am changing the data means my data will be lost. Okay. So here I have to give 4 positive edge clock delay. So I can simple write repeat 4 at the rate postage of clock. Why I am writing this? Because I have to wait for 4 rising edge of clock to shift all 4-bit data properly. Okay. So now end task completed. So now I have to compare the task. Okay. Like compare the output. So here I can write task compare begin. See here inside the task, whatever the input and output or whatever the signals I am writing inside my module, that without declaring inside the task, I can use it. See these signals I have not declared inside the task, but I can use it. Why? Because I have declared it in the module. So it is like a global signal I can use inside the task also. So begin. So now when I need to compare my output, I will get the output at the rate positive edge of clock. Positive edge of clock, that too in the NBA region. Okay, why NBA region? Because here I am using a non-blocking assignment. Okay, so I can simple write begin. Mm, at the rate passage of clock. Okay, just let's call this task at the rate passage of clock. So here I'm not giving at the rate passage of clock. I'm simple writing begin dollar stroke. Okay, let's keep some hash one delay. Then you can use dollar stroke as well as dollar display. See why I am writing dollar stroke, because your non-blocking assignment is used. So if you are writing dollar stroke means it will be executed at the end of the simulation. So you will get the updated result. So with this hash one, you can write dollar display also. So I'll be writing dollar stroke data in equal to percentile B data in. Next dollar stroke data out equal to percentile B data out. I'm not checking the reference data, I'm just checking the data out. Okay, so now if data out equal to data reference. So why I have given has one delay here? Because the updated result I will get at the rate positive edge of clock. At the same time, I cannot do the comparison. Why? Because this comparison will be done in the active region and data is updated in the NBA region. So to get the updated value, I am giving these things. And here I should be writing this triple equal to. Why? Because let your reset signal is not initialized. So you will be getting your output as X. Okay. So if I am giving this is my logical equality. Sorry, this is my case equality symbol. So case equality means it can compare your X values also. Let at a time your data out is X or data reference is X. Whenever your reset signal is not initialized. Okay. So you will be getting both the X values. So if data out equal to data reference, then I can write result is correct. or your design is correct. Design is verified. Okay. Else. Okay. So end task. Now I can call this task at the rate percentage of clock. Why at the rate percentage of clock? Because I need to compare this output at the rate percentage of clock. So always at the rate percentage of clock, I am calling this compare task. COM compare task. Okay. So now all other tasks I can call inside initial block. Because why? Because they only just need to execute only once, not always. But this comparison should be done always as long as I am generating the input values. So here initial begin $dump file. This is to check the waveform in the CDA playground. Okay. So next $dump variables. To dump all the variables in this region into your file. Then first I have to call this initialize task, then reset task. So initialize task, then this reset task. Okay. Then let I am going to check for 20 random data. I am generating 20 random data. So here I can write repeat 20 begin. So first I will be calling this load task. Here data will be loaded. Then I will be calling this shift task. Data will be shifted. Then end. So after this, let's give some hash to delay. As I am using a always block for generating the clock as well as here. So whenever you are using always block or forever block, don't forget to call $finish. If you are not calling $finish, then your program is going to run. So we have to $finish, then end model. So here I have to generate the clock also. So to generate the clock, I can simply write always has 5 clock equal to nothing. So clock equal to 0. So after 5 clock value will change. Okay. So you can use forever loop also. It's up to you. Okay. So I have declared load twice. I guess. Page load page. Okay, here I have already declared a variable as load. So I cannot take this task also as load. I have to give it different name. Let load data, shift data. So here I can write load data. Here I am calling the task. As I have not given any input or output, simple I can call the task like this. Okay, so data reference, that is my data out reference. So data out reference. Okay, so here data out reference is coming as Z. So a wire value is coming as Z means I have not assigned anything to it. I may have forgotten or I may have written some other names so that no value is assigned to it. Let's go here data out. So okay, here by mistake I have written D out. So this should be data out. Okay. Next here I have used a 16-bit piso. Okay, but I am using it to verify a 4-bit piso. Okay, so now here I have to override this 16 to 4 in order to get the correct result. So how can I override a parameter using def para? So def para Then my instantiation name. So instantiation name is reference model. Then which value I want to overwrite, this n value I can overwrite to 4. So instead of 16, now it is a 4-bit peso. So now I will check. Okay, so now you can clearly see whatever my data out and data reference both are correct. So here for all 20 values, I don't have to go and manually check. Both are giving me same result, means my design is correct. Okay. So this is all about your CIFO and self-checking test bench for CIFO. So next class we will try with a FSM.